What is going on, everyone? It is Tyler McKinney back here again, and we are getting back into the No Fun League. It just keeps getting worse. Ugh. Anyways, if it's your first time here, glad to have you. If you're a return viewer, thanks for coming back and thanks for watching more videos. And if you haven't yet, consider subscribing. Now, let's get into the content for today. We're talking about the No Fun League. And again, it just keeps going down for the No Fun League. They just don't seem to get it. And listen, when you live in your own little bubble, when you have everybody pandering to you, telling you all of these things, it's kind of like the person that only keeps the people around them that will only tell them the good things about themselves, and they wonder why they never get better, or they wonder why things never get any better. Well, it's because all you're looking at, or all you have, is kind of this echo chamber of ideas and thoughts, and you never bring anything new in or look at anything really from a constructive kind of point of view. And so everything is not right now with the NFL is in excuse mode. But the thing here is that until they actually examine what's going on and why it's happening, nothing's going to make a difference. And so that's why I'm here. That's why I keep covering it. And that's why I keep hammering this home. Listen, football, you know that if you watch this channel. I'm very passionate about football. I love my football. NFL was it for me. And then they brought in all their politics and they've ruined it for me. That's the way it is. I want to get NFL back the way it was. Now, I know a lot of you out there, you're done. And I totally get that. They have gone way too far with what they're doing and what they're supporting and where they're putting all of their emphasis on. And you're just done. They're not going to bring you back. And I totally understand that. And I respect that. I'm hoping that maybe by shining some light and not just telling you the things that you want to hear, or coming up with maybe some excuses like others are out there in the media, telling you really why people aren't watching, that hopefully maybe it might fall on some listening ears. And if not the NFL, at least your guys', at least you know that your thoughts out there are being validated. Because right now what's happening is that all of those in the big, mainstream sports media outlets, all of them out there, they keep toting this whole thing. I mean, last week they're blaming it on New York because both of the New York teams are terrible this year. And so New Yorkers don't like to watch, bad teams. And so that's why the ratings are down. Or it's, during this time in which we all are in, that we've been without sports for so long that we've just kind of found other things to do. Now, I think that that's part of it, but that's not the whole thing here. It isn't that we've just kind of moved on from sports. Now, when you add in all of your pandering, all of your politics, all of that ideology, the social justice stuff, all of that into your really, it's just woven into the fabric of it, unfortunately. I mean, it was at the beginning of the games, and now it's just, you see it in the commercials. You see it in the broadcast. You see it everywhere. And so we've got to there's got to be somebody saying something, and that's why I'm saying it. Why? Because I care too much about the product just to leave it where it's at. And unfortunately, sometimes it's hard to hear the hard things and that with it. So that's why we're here, and that's why I encourage you guys to continue on doing what you're doing, because we are truly making a difference. Now, let's go ahead and let's get into what's really happening here. So Thursday Night Football, it's a 4-year low for Thursday Night Football. Now, Thursday Night Football hasn't been around for very long, if you know that, and a lot of it falls on the NFL Network. But right now, they're down. It's down roughly about 14, let's say 14% than what it was a year ago. And a year ago, it was down 23%. So we're talking about a huge drop. And again, this is adding in all of those numbers of all of the bars and, all of the restaurants, all of the hotels, all of these businesses that have the game on are added in this year, which they were not added in years prior. So when we're looking at this is a huge drop off because these are numbers that weren't added in before, which we know that more businesses were showing the game a year ago than they are this year. And the other thing is that this year, you have a lot more people at home. And this is a point that a lot of you have brought up. And I really do appreciate you saying this. And this is something maybe, I haven't really addressed really well. And so I apologize for not really coming out and saying it. But a lot of you have said this. The fact that a lot of people are at home more, they're stuck at home, and they're choosing not to turn on their TV sets. So the extra TV sets and the extra eyes that you would have that might be at these hotels, that might be at these bars, that might be at all these social events, that might equate for more people, you're not getting them. Meaning when you put all them in the homes, they're counted more as opposed to counting them as viewing as, one entity as that sports bar or whatever. When you take, let's say 4 people and move them from a sports bar and move it at home, that's 4. That 1 got multiplied by 4. Now it's instead of 1, it's 4. But you're not getting all those people. So the numbers are skewed on top of that because you're not actually, all those people that were at the bars and at the restaurants watching are not there watching anymore, and they're not watching at home. So it's translating to an even more of a skew than what it was before. So not only do you have less businesses open showing the game, on top of that, you have less people watching the game at home that would have been watching it years prior at the restaurant or at the bar. It's just all around. It doesn't look good for the NFL. And, they can make all the excuses that they want. Like I said before, they can blame it on New York teams being bad. They can blame it on, having to fight with a Emmys or a Dancing with the Stars or whatever like that. But the reality of it is that I know from years past, football fans are going to watch football if you give them football. Period. They'll find a way to watch it. They'll find a place to watch it, and it'll just be that. People are deciding not to watch it, and that's what's happening, and they need to sit back. They need to realize it. And unless they actually decide to look at it, look at the facts of what are going on, who's boycotting, who's not watching the games, who are saying, drawing a line in the sand and saying, I'm done with this. Sports mean a lot to a lot of us, but they don't mean that much that, the disrespect that's happening during the national anthems or, all of this politics that's been, thrown in our faces for all of this woke social justice stuff. And, not everybody is all on board with that, and it's not an end all be all. And there are those of you who are out there that are going to say, their numbers are fine. They're doing just fine. And, your guys aren't going to make a difference whatsoever. Yes, we will. Because those of us who are deciding not to watch, we're bringing the millions down. And this will affect the NFL. What will happen is right now, this is a contract year for them. This year does make a difference. If these numbers are down and they're down with people at home and with all this stuff, they're not going to get the billions of dollars that they're wanting from these cable or, these TV stations that they have in the past. And with their numbers being down, that means less dollars to the NFL, which means then in turn, less dollars are going to go to the players. And so it will trickle down to everyone. It's going to take, like I said, it's going to take a little bit of time, but it will happen. It will happen with it. So guys, again, the reason why I'm doing this is to prove a point, to stick to a point and stick it out. And I appreciate all of those of you who have decided to stick it out with me. So, as always, the question is, what do you think? I would like to know that. Let's kind of continue the conversation on down in the comments section. All right, guys, I know that you're busy. I know that I'm busy. So let's get on out of here. You have a good night. Bye.